everyone. Welcome to All Things Childcare Instagram live series. We are back to back. And we are back to back as we had one yesterday, and now we are doing it again. And today we're talking about all things parenting and parenting with a purpose. I see my special guest in the chat. Please send a request and we'll get started. If you don't know me, my name is LaShawna. I am a part of the All Things Childcare leadership team. About parenting with a purpose, and I'm so excited. She will be with us shortly. I hope your weekend was amazing. Please let us know where you are tuning in from, because we always like to see everybody. Hello, beautiful. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am doing great. Thank you for being on today. Do me a favor, introduce yourself for everyone, and then we'll jump right in.
Okay, so my name is Nayantali Espinal. I am a stay-at-home mom, and I have a 2-year-old daughter. Her name is Eva.
I love that. And do you go by Nini?
Nini.
Nini. Okay, perfect. So thank you for being on with us today. We love your content, and we wanted to check in with you. And after chatting with you in the DMs, we agreed that parenting with a purpose, or just having an open conversation, would be cool. So when you hear parenting with a purpose, what comes up for you?
Okay, so when you're parenting with a purpose, for me, it's about, identifying what is your goal or your purpose in parenting. Like, what is it that you want to get out of this? And also being more self-conscious, being more mindful, and just being more aware, and creating taking situations in your daily life and finding ways, identifying how you can flip these situations to work towards that purpose and towards your goals for yourself. Because it's actually proven that when you set a goal and you set a purpose for what you are doing, you are more likely to be successful because you have a clear direction in what you are doing.
I love that.
Yeah.
When I think of parenting with a purpose, at the end of the day, in order to be a purposeful parent, you have to be a purposeful person. And what I love about parenting is, even though it does not come with the rule book, we know it doesn't, but it teaches us so much about ourselves as we are teaching our kids and parenting our children and navigating this new territory. So when you can think about how you've been able to evolve as a mom, as a woman, as a parent, just from parenting, what does that look like for you?
I think for me, it looks like, and I think for many parents too, I've heard that, when you become a parent and you're in the thick of it, you start to see things come up that you maybe didn't know were there, So an example that I can give you for myself is, patience. I maybe didn't consider myself to be an impatient person before becoming a parent, but once I became a parent, I started to realize, okay, this is something that keeps coming up that I really need to focus on and work on. So for me, that was one of the biggest things of slowing down and making sure that I am identifying when I am getting impatient so that I don't transmit that over to my daughter.
That is so good, because I think a lot of times as lives, we go through the motions, and sometimes we can miss the incidental teaching. Like you and I were talking about how maximizing every moment to engage with our kids, instead of kind of putting them in front of the TV or handing them the iPad, or being on autopilot so much that we miss the important milestones and moments, right?
Yeah.
So I see everybody coming in. Hello. You guys are tuning in to our All Things Childcare series, and we're talking about parenting with a purpose. And I would love to get your input in the chat. My question to you is, what does parenting with a purpose mean to you? Because it can kind of sound cliche, but I have a 21-year-old. I know I don't look like it, you know what I'm saying? And it seems like I'm learning even more about myself as a mom and as about a parent the older that they get, right? But at the small moments, I think sometimes we take those moments for granted because they're not as verbal and they're not exhibiting behaviors, if you may. But I think those are the most important times to really be intentional about the type of parent that you want to become.
Yes. Yeah, so, you know, it can seem like, these little moments, like you're saying, are not doing anything or they're not making a difference, but over a long period of time, every single decision that you made is shaping this little person to the human that they're going to be in the future. So it does matter, and it is important to pay attention to all those moments and make sure that you are using it to your benefit, towards your purpose that you have
Mm-hmm.
set for yourself. And it's also important to note that your purpose in your parenting isn't always going to be the same. It's going to change as your child is growing up. It's going to be different when they're a newborn, when they're a toddler, and in every stage that you're going through with them.
Yeah, I agree. And I will also add, it's not going to be perfect.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I think when we have the expectations of things being perfect, whether it's the laundry's folded, there's no dishes in the sink, uh, no empty cans laying around, when we have
Mm-hmm.
those expectations that sometimes can be unrealistic, it adds more stress and pressure on us.
Yes.
So I want to kind of shift the conversation to, have you ever experienced mommy guilt?
Oh, yes, yes, for sure. I have experienced mommy guilt. I remember very clearly the first time that I raised my voice at my daughter, and I remember feeling so bad about it because I was having one of those, all moms go through it, those stressful days where it's just everything is just piling up and you just kind of snap in a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of yelled at her, and the thing with this situation was that she reacted to my yelling and got upset, and kind of went off, crying to herself. And are you still there? Okay, it looks like the camera went off for a second. Let's give her a second to come
Yes, I'm
back.
still here. Go
Okay,
ahead.
okay. All right. So she reacted to my yelling, and that made me feel so terrible. I remember I went to sleep that day, and I told my husband, I feel so bad. I yelled at her today, and she got sad about it. And I made sure that, after that, I went to her and I apologized to her, even though she might not understand why or what I'm even
Mm-hmm.
saying to her. I made sure that, even though she's this age, I'm still apologizing to her for something that I'm doing to her that is wrong. And then also realizing that I'm not gonna be perfect, like you said. There are moments in parenting that you are gonna not do maybe what it is that you said that you wanted to
Mm-hmm.
do. And that's kind of what happened to me. And it was more so about accepting that I'm human, accepting that I'm gonna make mistakes in parenting.
Man, I love how you took accountability, even though she may not understand the apology, even though our kids are way smarter than we think, and they pick up on energy, right?
Yeah.
So the frantic energy versus the calm energy and versus the sincere energy, they understand it. But practice makes progress, not
Yes.
perfect.
Yeah.
And even now, like, we're not going to do things right, and it's important for us as parents, no matter how old the child is, to be remorseful, to apologize, to communicate. Because I know the old way is my way or the highway, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
How effective is that kind of parenting when it's don't do as I do, do as I say?
Mm-hmm.
That does not work.
No, I don't believe that it's effective at all. And when you learn to say, okay, let me talk through this with my child, even if your child is young, it doesn't matter what age they are. And I can give you an example about this, to kind of so you can understand what I'm trying to say. Let's say that you're a parent that is trying to put your child to sleep, for example, and your child is saying, well, why do I need to go to sleep?
Mm-hmm.
Any parent would say, because I said so, like you just said, or because you just have to go to sleep, and completely jump over that question.
Yep.
But if you say, as a parent that is being intentional and purposeful, if you say, okay, let me take this opportunity to teach my child something, you would say, well, hey, let's sit down and talk about why is it that you need to go to sleep? What benefit is this going to have for you? Also, getting a book, if your child is very young, get a book that talks about this specific topic and read it with them. So just like that, you took a situation and completely, it could have been a power struggle, it could have turned into a tantrum, and you completely turned that around and turned it into a teachable
Yep.
moment, and also a moment that is working towards your purpose, like we were just talking about.
I love that So guys, she used the term teachable moments, right?
Yeah.
And a teachable moment is an opportunity for you to use it to teach instead of either A, ignoring it, or dismissing it, which is kind of the same, but ignoring is like not important. Dismissing is like being more aware, but you're minimizing it to where it's not important. And at the end of the day, let me tell you something, guys. Repetition for parenting is key. My daughter is 21 and I'm still repeating and being repetitive on simple things because, as you guys know, our attention spans are so short to where we have to get that instant reminder over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And so I want to check in with our chat. I see you guys coming in. Thank you for joining. And whether you're here live or on the replay, I want you to think about, what does parenting with a purpose mean to you? And maybe you call it proactive parent, or maybe you call it your parenting power, whatever mantra you want to call it. Let's be intentional about how we're showing up with our children, in the community, in the universe, because at the end of the day, I believe that they used to say it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah.
And I think it takes a world to raise a community.
Wow.
Because it's bigger than the village now, and it's bigger than the child now. Right?
Yeah.
It takes every single person of us in the world to do our part. And, I just love your content. I love how engaged you are with your family. I see that you have fun. You're a stay-at-home mom, and that's a whole nother stigma of stay-at-home mom, because I believe that stay-at-home moms work harder and more than the person in corporate running a 500 company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the reason
Yeah.
why I say that is because life is going to life, the kids are going to kids, the dog's going to dog, the kitchen's going to kitchen, and you still got to show up and do everything in addition to making sure that you're good. That is a big deal.
Yes. There is
Right?
absolutely no clocking out when you're a stay-at-home mom. You're going 24/7 nonstop.
Right. You might not even get lunch.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you're so preoccupied with everything in the house that it's just like that, but there's times that, I say, like, I wish I could back to work, but when I think about what I'm doing in the home and the impact that it's having with my daughter and it's going to have on her long term, then I always remind myself this is 100% going to be worth it in the future for her.
Mm-hmm. And so as we're speaking about, like, being a stay-at-home mom or a single parent, or all of the things that parents have to deal with, and showing up at work, showing up for their staff if they're in a leadership role, showing up in their role, how do you juggle all of the things that you have on your plate and still be able to parent with a purpose?
I think that, like you just said, getting help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Connect yourself to people that maybe are in the same situation as you, that you can talk to and lean on, and kind of lean on each other, and just find those people that you can relate to, that can give you the information that you probably need, that have probably already done it, that are way ahead of you, that can give you useful advice, that they know of things that maybe they went through when they were in your position. So I feel like that's one of the best things that you can do. Don't ever feel like you have to do it alone. Make sure that you are asking for help if you feel like you need help.
It's so funny. I literally today, and you might have seen it because I know we follow each other, posted a post about asking for help.
Yes.
That is one of the biggest gaps and barriers that not even just parents, people struggle with in their life. And I think sometimes it goes down to pride. But as a business therapist, I believe that asking for help is actually a strength, because you are now becoming vulnerable and transparent about what you need. And in my opinion, that's harder to do than someone that doesn't. So that's actually a strength. I reframed it because I even struggle with it too. But then my other motto is, a closed mouth don't get fed. So if I'm not asking for help, how do I expect someone to support me?
Exactly. You need to ask for help in order to get help. And more than likely, there's always going to be someone that is willing and able to help you. And that's kind of also why I started my whole Instagram page as well, was because I wanted to be someone that, if you wanted to reach out to me and ask me anything about parenting or whatever it is that you're going through, you can go ahead and do that. And I will gladly respond and speak to you. So I wanted to be that person because a lot of times people feel kind of adamant to ask for help because they think people are not going to want to help. But most of the times they do, and they want to see you succeed.
Great point. So listen, do you have anything coming up on the horizon, or what kind of support do you share on your page? That way, if someone's tuning in, they know that they can follow you for the information. How would you describe your platform?
I think that my platform is a platform for everyone. I'm very big on positivity, not judging each other, not nitpicking at each other's decisions. It's like we were just talking about, every parent is different, every child is different. You know what's best for your child at the end of the day. So we're not going to pick at each other. We're just going to share information that can maybe, it might not be for you, but it might be for someone else. And that's what I always say. And everything that I share, if it's not for you, it's not for you, but it can possibly help someone that does need it. So, in the future, I do plan to maybe start my own live series and connect with parents on a deeper level, having conversations like this. So that's definitely something that I'm working on. And, my page is always open. I receive your messages and I answer you as best as I can in a timely manner. So I'm always available to help out in whatever that I can.
I love that so much. So guys, if you want to check out the replay from any of our IG Live series, we pop it in our stories, and we'll also have it in our link in our bio. We're so excited you guys tapped in today. I want to stay on for a couple more minutes to see, do you have any questions about what we shared today? Parenting with a purpose. I'm not going to say balancing. I'm going to say navigating parenting and other duties that you have. What questions do you have for us? Feel free to pop it in the chat and also pop it in the QA box. Someone said beautiful experience. Thank you so much. I intentionally have some of these conversations very fluid and organic because I think that's where the magic really happens.
Yeah.
And it's really important for us just to provide safe space to connect and decompress and share. So that's exactly what we strive to do here at All Things Childcare.
Yes, that is so important to have that space that you can just be open about certain things. A lot of times we feel shame about sharing certain things, like the question you just asked me about mom guilt. Sometimes we feel like we can't share those things. We think that we're going to be judged. But the reality is there are millions and millions of mothers going through the same exact thing that you are. And it's okay to talk about it and be open and just have a conversation that is building each other up.
Such good information. So someone asked, why do they show aggression? So I'll give you a short answer. And the reason why it'll be short is because there's several variables on why children show aggression. For some, they may see aggression and they're mimicking it. And when I say see, it could be from the parents, it could be from a caregiver, it could be from TV, it could be from social media. But most times children show aggression because they don't have the words to articulate, to say what they're feeling. So instead it comes out in aggression or physical or tantrums, right? And so the best thing as a parent or caregiver is to stay calm when the child is showing aggression so we can model to them what it should look like when you need to express yourself. So I'll give you guys a quick example. Let's say little Tommy's throwing a tantrum and he's screaming. We want to make sure that we don't scream back. We want to make sure that we don't respond impulsively because sometimes if we're triggered by the scream, we'll do something impulsive, right? So instead we want to stay calm and we want to describe what little Tommy's doing. Hey, little Tommy, right now you're screaming. Right now you're, I'm just want to, because it's funny, I want to say you're exerting yourself, but they're like, exerting, what does that mean? So you might say you're tantruming or you're screaming or describe the behavior, and then you want to calm them down. And how do you calm them down? If you use a calm voice like this, you see how I changed my voice tone from how I was talking to now I'm talking like this. That literally can help calm them down. Sometimes we have to do planned ignoring. What is that? It's also known as extinction, but you want to be careful with that. Planned ignoring is literally they're over there tantruming, life is still going on over here. Hey, so what's going on while they're tantruming? Because what happens is sometimes it is attention seeking. And if I respond to the attention-seeking behavior, do you guys think it's going to increase or decrease?
Increase.
It's going to increase. So again, there's so many variables, and I'm a certified parenting expert, so that's why I'm able to rattle this stuff off like this. But in short, make sure you don't mimic and mirror what they're doing, because that will increase the behavior. I hope that was helpful. There's so many reasons why children show aggression. It really depends on, I would say, the environment. So think about the environment that they're in, and just make sure that it's a calming environment and that there's safe space to communicate, and you're opening up space for them to share how they're feeling.
You know, I also have seen recently as well, parents creating calming corners for their children. So that is something so useful, you know, in this stage where you can just create a corner for them to kind of blow off that steam, just sit them down there with their little toys or whatever it is. And I think that would be a very helpful thing to do as well.
Oh, most definitely. Thank you for sharing that. Calming corners are so awesome. I mean, this could be considered a calming corner. I got greenery behind me. You know, it's a different kind of aesthetic for an adult. That alone, you guys wouldn't know, but maybe that makes me to decompress. Maybe that makes me to be less stressed. That's my adult calming corner. Make sure you guys go to Google and check that out. And if you want more information on calming corners, DM us so we can create a resource for you guys. All right. Well, I'm not going to hold you too long. I want to thank you again for tuning in with us today. Is there anything lastly that you would like to share with us before we wrap up?
I just think the last thing I want to share and leave you guys with, and I think it's very important to take from this, is that you are not perfect. You are not going to be a perfect parent. There has never been a perfect parent. So give yourself grace and just make sure that you are taking the time to be intentional and just more self-aware with yourself, and just don't beat yourself up too much about things that you are probably doing that you never thought you would do. Like me, for example, where I never thought that I would yell at my daughter, but I did in a moment of frustration. And that's okay. Those are things that happen. You just have to keep going forward and just, you know, trying to manage the situation as best that you can.
Such a great takeaway. I never thought I'd yell at my daughter either, and I've done it several times.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, and I'll leave you guys with this. And it goes back to what you said, owning up to what you're doing and taking accountability. Because we have that type of communication, even at the age of 21, she is very, very, very self-reflective, and she comes back at least 90% of the time and apologizes for things that she's done, like weeks later, days later. And because I modeled that for her growing up. And so it's just pretty cool to see. I'm like, wow, I forgot that you were rude to me last week. She's like, Mom. And it just warms my heart, because it just shows that the things that we don't even realize that we're teaching our kids literally is parenting with a purpose.
Yes. Everything you pour into them is going to come right back to you at one point or another.
Yep. Well, thank you so much. Enjoy your Monday. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. We have our next IG Live next week on the 28th. My calendar is over here, so I'm looking right here. On the 28th, so make sure you guys tune in to our stories so you can get all the details. Have an amazing day.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Guys.